undermining the church, making statements that seem totally opposite to what the church teaches. And I'm thinking Pope Pius X, if he was alive today, I'll say this and you can correct me. I think he would say, Terry, Father Murr, Jesse, modernism. This is what you got going right now. Am I right or am I exaggerating?
A number of people, let me put it that way, in the church today who have no business in the church.
Yeah.
They should be honest and leave.
Amen.
They should be honest and leave. And Fulton J. Sheen made the same remark years ago. He said, there are some priests who should be honest and leave.
Yeah.
Why don't they leave? It's because they've found a very comfortable little niche. And they're not about to do anything to shake that up.
Too bad.
Very dishonest, but there they are.
Yeah.
It's time that there be a statement of what is Catholic.
Yeah.
Look, the Catechism of Bishop Schneider, the Credo.
I haven't.
I haven't found anything better in recent years to come out. It's so simple. It's so clear. It's so forthright. It's done. We're doing programs in Spain based on that.
Good.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's really remarkable. This is what we need. We need Catholics to know their own faith.
Amen.
This is why people fall apart, because they don't know what their own faith is. Amen. If they knew it, they'd be able to defend it. We've got to get educated.
Well, I think one of the things that our bishops and cardinals and the next pope, they have to take the words of Fulton Sheen seriously, where he talks about the refusal to take sides on great moral issues is itself a decision.
Amen.
It is a silent acquiescence to evil.
Yes.
The tragedy of our time is that those who still believe in honesty lack fire and conviction, while those who disbelieve and who believe in dishonesty are full of passion and conviction. That's what's going to take to re-evangelize the church. We need to as St. Paul said to Timothy, stir up the flames stir up the graces that were within you through the laying on of hands. Most of Catholics have been baptized and confirmed. We need to stir up those flames by a life of prayer, living in a state of grace, so that we can roll up our sleeves, that we can get busy with evangelizing and the salvation of souls, starting from the Pope all the way down to the common lay folk.
No, how would I disagree with that?
Exactly. Here's my thought, though.
It's perfect.
Yeah, here's my thought. The idea that Fulton Sheen said this back in the early 70s, that the church will be saved not by people dressed as Father Murr, cardinals, popes, but lay people. And he asked us to save the church by asking priests, bishops, and cardinals, and all the way to the Pope, to live out their priesthood correctly. In other words, we're going to call you because we know that our clergy, if they're not living the faith, it's very difficult for us to be living the faith. And so I would encourage all of us today, right now, to be praying for Holy Mother of the Church, and also praying that God will send down his mercy upon us and give us a very good Pope. Because I heard there's a Cardinal Sin from the Philippines many years ago, 40 years ago.
I'm in sin.
Yeah,
I'm in sin.
Welcome to the house of sin. Okay, I get it. Yeah. He's a funny guy. But he said this. Yeah. He said, and I will never forget this. I was like 20, 25. He said, the church gets its leaders that it deserves. What are your thoughts about that, Father Murr?
Well, sure. Yeah, I think so. But it also gets some that it doesn't deserve. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've seen that through history.
Me too. Yeah.
All right. So the deal is this.
Yes.
What you're right on this. We've got to have our clergy have to be living what they're preaching.
Yes.
It's real simple. Yes. Because it's hard enough for people to defend in the marketplace out in the world.
Yes.
To defend the truths of the Catholic Church, to defend the existence of God, to defend the existence of Christ, who he was. That's hard enough. They don't have to be called on to defend the behavior of their priests.
Yeah.
That's outrageous. That has to stop. We really, the Second Vatican Council had the right idea, and that was to address the real problems of the world today. Unfortunately, they weren't addressed deeply enough.
Yeah. And
not all of them were addressed. There's some, what did Sheen also say? he said, there's nothing wrong with the way people believe. There's something wrong with the way people live.
Yes, he nailed it.
And that's, well, there's also something wrong with the way people believe. But it really comes down to the way you're living. If you're not living a proper life, you're not going to convince anybody to anything.
Yeah, well said.
Besides losing your own soul. Right?
Yeah. God willing, he also corrects the errors of Martin Luther. I mean, they've already been condemned, but Pope Francis kind of resurrected Martin Luther.
He did.
And we need to bury him again. The next Pope has to eliminate all this whole LGBT-centered, gatherings, all this queer embrace conference, things that have happened in the Vatican that I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. I also think the next Pope has to unite the Catholic Church, because right now we're divided right now, and we need a unifier, and we need the next Pope also to realize that the Freemasons, they're not our friends.
No.
Because we know that this false ecumenism is the key plan of the Freemasons to destroy the Catholic Church. And we're incompatible with Freemasonry. Freemasons worship Lucifer at the highest degrees.
Jesse, can I add one more thing that I think is critical? That is all of my canceled priest friends that you and I know.
Oh, wow.
Bring them back into their ministry. Can you imagine? I got a priest friend who will not give Holy Communion in the hand because he says, I can't guarantee that the sacred host, the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Jesus Christ is going to be protected. And he gets a bishop saying, you're silenced, you're done. So, I mean, people like Father Frank Pavone.
Wow.
I'd like to see the next Pope give Father Frank Pavone his priesthood back. Father, can he do that? The next Pope?
No. I wouldn't suggest that the Pope give him back his priesthood. Should make him a bishop. Make him a bishop. He should make him a bishop. Yeah. That's one fine man, Father Pavone. He should be made a bishop.
So the Pope can do all these things with all these canceled priests, right?
Sure he can. Of course he can.
See, what a blessing that would be to the church to get these, because it seems to me, and I'll just say it right now, a couple minutes later, most of the good priests in my lifetime, if he preaches well, Orthodox teaching, they put him in a corner of the diocese in a little parish with 100 families. Have you noticed that, Father?
Oh, yeah.
Sure, of course.
Gotta stop.
Because he's not politically correct.
Yeah.
Mrs. McGillicuddy, who gives $10,000 a week to the cathedral, she doesn't like that. She likes this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We're selling ourselves short. We really are.